In the previous lesson, we learned about pedal points and how to create them and apply them in our hymn playing. A pedal point, of course, goes on for a while, more than just a measure. But a technique related to it, called pedal summarization, is sort of like creating pedal points that last only for one measure, short pedal points. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use a hymn that we all know from Advent, O Come, Emmanuel. It's modal. It lends itself well to pedal points. We're going to start with the key note, in this case, E, and that will be sustained for the first bar. But instead of playing all those other notes that are with the harmonization in the hymnal, we'll rock down to the lower note, D, as our pedal note and our pedal summarization for the second bar. And as you can see, using simplified pedal can act in much the same way as a pedal point. There will be some dissonances created, but as long as you experiment and find these experimentations to be acceptable to you and to your congregation, you can apply them in your hymn playing. Let's listen. Summarizing the pedal and also summarizing the harmony that goes above the pedal can be a way of varying the texture and the style in your hymn playing, but it can also take away some of the rigor of playing different pedals for each note of a harmonized hymn. Well, now that we have talked about summarizing notes in hymns, let's go back and recover and practice again our method for constructing and learning a hymn. At the organ, we're going to take the bass line, the bass voice, and put it in the pedal. We're going to take the soprano and alto in the right hand, and in the left hand we are taking the tenor voice. So we have all four voices represented. In Amazing Grace, which is our hymn for this exercise, we're going to start by familiarizing ourselves with the pedal line or the bass line. Taking the bass note, play it all the way through. I'll let you do all of that. That's just how we started. And then we're going to play the tenor line in the left hand with the bass, okay? So here we are together. You can do this on your own, of course. And then, of course, we can take the right hand and play the two voices there, soprano and alto, and just the tenor with the left hand. And then finally, after we have the alto, tenor, and soprano, we put the bass line with it. And now we have our basic rudiment of playing a hymn in a traditional voicing, 4 parts at the organ. Now, we can take the right hand, and since the soprano has our melody, we can play it on a different manual with bolder registration to solo out that melody. That means that the left hand has to take the alto and the tenor together. So that is a different configuration. Before we put the soprano in, let's just play the alto, tenor, and bass. So far, so good. Now, let's do it all together with the soprano on another keyboard. Of course, it's always possible to play a hymn that's written in 4 parts just without the pedals and play them all with 2 voices in each hand. And of course, this is the most familiar mode for anybody playing the piano. These are the ways that you can practice your hymns. By having so many variations, in the mere process of practicing all of your variations, you'll become very familiar with all of the parts and textures and voicings of every hymn you play. And this is all the kind of preparation a good organist needs to do so that the organist is ready for anything and everything as they actually lead that hymn in worship.